So let's shift over to Lisa's question about stand-up comedy, and it goes like this. How can Lisa get better at stand-up comedy when she's not available to gig 3, 4, 5 nights a week because she's got a responsible job and a home life? Is it worthwhile pursuing her ambitions? Is there something she can do to enhance her skills? Lisa, the answer is absolutely you can now. Stage time is extremely important. If you can never get to a point where you're going to be able to gig very regularly and imbibe the energy of the room and learn to read an audience and build relationships with different promoters and get a sense of what works in one room, maybe it has a high ceiling which works against comedy, and then running the same joke in a room that's full and warm and has a low ceiling. All of this is the kind of thing that comes with stage experience, where you are in the running order. All of these are real life experiences that you absolutely need significant experience of tapping into. So long as you see a point in the future where you'll be able to gig more regularly, there's really not much of a problem here, because you can clearly be working on your writing and your performance, not just writing lots and lots of new material. This is a mistake I see very often. I sometimes have a new act come to me and tell me they've got 40 pages of jokes or whatever it happens to be. But they don't really need 40 pages of jokes if they're on a circuit, which in London is typically in 5-minute blocks. What they need is about 900 words, 850, 800 words of material. Despite how fast I speak, the average person speaks at 3 words a second, meaning a 5-minute set should be about 900 words. But of course, there will be breaks for applause, you would hope, breaks for laughter, pauses and beats. So most likely a 5-minute set is going to be somewhere nearer 850 words. Therefore, there's no point in having 40 pages of material. What you need is 900 words that are jam-packed with quality jokes. There's no excess words in there. So writing, coming up with new material, expanding it is all important. But it's also all important to go back and edit, take out every extraneous words, make every word as evocative and as descriptive as possible. And then you can be rehearsing these, making sure it's down in your brain pat, that you've got it perfectly memorized. Start developing act out, or maybe bringing in accents, something that adds color and life to your performance. You can be writing, editing, rewriting, re-editing, rehearsing, polishing your performance in the private of your bedroom. People tend to practice in many cases in front of a bathroom mirror or a mirror of some sort. And I don't think this is a great choice in this day and age where we all have a video camera on our mobile phones. I'd set that up on a tripod and then play to the camera and then around the camera, as though you were in a live room and there's different eye lines and you're glancing around the room and engaging with the crowd like this. And because it is recorded, you're not reviewing yourself in real time. With a mirror, you wouldn't have somebody moving straight in your eye line when you're performing on a stage in a club. So you can play around the camera, and then having run your set, you can review it. See if you stumbled, see if you can work out how to reduce the ums and the and the ahs, and then try and identify exactly where the strongest points of your set are, and can you bolster them further? Can you find where the weakest parts of your set are and decide how to strengthen them, or if you should remove them? So not being able to gig regularly in the immediate future is no problem. It just means you can get yourself really match fit for when you can gig regularly. However, if there is no choice that you see in the mid or long future where you could be gigging hard, building relationships, getting that real life experience of gigging live, being on a stage, reading an audience, if that's never really going to be available to you, then you're probably not going to be able to move too far up the comedy ranks. That's not to say you can't persist with your passion for comedy, but it's just more likely to be more of a hobby and an occasional experience rather than somebody who's committed to try and make it to the professional rankings. Writing, rehearsing, editing, performing, they all come hand in hand. If you've already got a real and full life, then you quite possibly can't fit all of these in. Being out many nights a week is probably not conducive. For example, if you have young children, unless you can't stand young children, in which case it's a cracking idea. Whatever you do, Lisa, I wish you best of luck and thank you for your question.